Draupadi, all these warriors are great chariot fighters. Gita Bhushan Tika 1.4 to 6. This small army arranged by Drishtadumna will be easily conquered by us. Do not fear. Who will speak this? Who is speaking this? This small army arranged by Drishtadumna will be easily conquered by us. Do not fear. Who was fearing? Duryodhan. So who will be speaking this shloka? Dronacharya. So suppose Dronacharya says, that's why you have to be attentive. Suppose Dronacharya says, Are Baba, Drishtadumna is nothing. Why you are fearing? So then he answers, but in that army, he means Duryodhan. But in that army, there are great warriors who have bows. Ishwasaha. Ishu means bows, bows and arrows, which cannot be cut by the enemy. They are innumerable warriors who are skilled in fighting. He then lists the warriors on the opposing side. That's why he's listing. Yudhan refers to Satyaki. So, okay, now it's clear. Yudhan means Satyaki. Satyaki, Virat, and Drupad were all Maharathas. Drishtiketu, Chekitan, and Kashiraj were all courageous. So, they are different attributes of all of them. Purjit, Kunti, Bhoj, and Sheb were all the best among men. Narapungavaha, Yudhamanyu was valiant. Vikrantaha, oh, sorry, Vikranta was not a name of somebody. Vikranta was the quality of that devotee. That means Yudhamanyu. And Uttamoja was brave, and it means Viryavan. Saubhadra refers to Abhimanyu. I don't have to explain, I'm just reading it for my purification. I don't have to split. Easy, isn't it? Nothing philosophical to explain here. Draupadiya refers to the 5 sons of Draupadi born from each of the Pandavas: Prativindya, Shrutasena, Shrutakirti, Shatanik, and Shrutakarma. The word Cha indicates other sons such as Ghatotkach. Whose son was he? Bhim. Bhim is very powerful and he was a Rakshasa. The 5 Pandavas were so famous that they are not even mentioned. What is the meaning of this? Hmm. After all the shlokas, I'll ask you a very difficult question. Remember this. The 17 men mentioned and the others on their side not mentioned were all Maharathas. That means in Sanskrit we call it Upalakshan. If these are mentioned, so from this you understand that others are also there. Not only these Maharathas were there, but there were many great fighters were there. The description of Maharathas also indicates the presence of other fighters such as Athirathas. I just now mentioned this. Maharatha are there and they are more bigger fighter than this who were there. Their qualities are mentioned. एकोदश सहस्राणि योधयेद् यस्तु धन्विनाम शस्त्र शास्त्र प्रवीणाश्च महारथ इति स्मृतः अमितान योधयेद् यस्तु संप्रोक्तो तीरथस्तु सह रथी चैकेन यो युद्धेत तन्यूनो अर्धरथः स्मृतः. A Maharatha is a man who can fight alone with 10,000 archers, who is expert in both weapons and scriptures. Is nothing to explain, just the definitions I've given. An Atiratha is one who fights with unlimited troops. Who was an Atiratha in this battle? Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Arjuna, all they were Atirathas. A Rathi is one who fights with one opponent, and one who does less than that, cannot deal with one opponent alone, is called Ardharatha. Later on you will see how Duryodhan calls Bhima as Ardharathi. As a derogatory remark, he says Bhima is not even an Ardharathi, he can't even fight one person. Bhima is so powerful. That's what his estimation was. Yeah, he was so much against Bhima. Purport. Even though Drishtadumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. You must remember, even if I'm not speaking elaborate words, just to hear the words of Srila Prabhupada is purifying us. Prabhupada wanted his books to be heard. And you will always feel when you read something that's good, but when we speak it out, there's a different taste. And we'll also mention something. They are mentioned by Duryodhan as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi. We have discussed this. The points which we have discussed, we will not discuss. We'll try to go a little fast. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjun and thus he compared the others with them. Is it something to explain? I don't think anything is need to be explained. Okay, let me just pose a question. Why he's comparing other people? Why he mentioned the name of all other Maharathas in the sides of Pandavas. Did you understand this point? Why, what is his name? Duryodhan, after mentioning Drishtadyumna, why he's mentioning other warriors? To reduce his fear? I hope you have taken prasadam. It's very simple. Do not be lenient. It's not only Drishtadyumna. There are so many people who are actually very powerful. So you have to be very, very diligent in fighting the war. That is the reason he is taking the names of all these people. Is it, I'm able to communicate what I'm trying to say, or is it just maybe you're too tired after Hindi class? No? Okay. I would request the devotees to again read it, give it a reading one more time. Then you will understand very easily. Now, certain points will miss because the mind will go somewhere else. Then you cannot catch the point. But if you again read, then very easily, it will just take, I think, maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes to read all the shlokas. Okay, afterwards. Okay, now he will say, are you fearful of them? Do you think we are not powerful? Dronacharya may say. Then he says, no, 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 we are also very powerful. Let's see what is our estimation. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तमा
तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तमः
नायक मम सैन्यस्य
नायक मम सैन्यस्य
संज्ञार्थां तान् ब्रवीमि ते
संज्ञार्थं तान् अब्रवीमि मे
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये in asmakam in our side too, but Vishishtaye, don't think that there are people strong in their army. But in our side also there are very powerful people. Vishishtaye means, Vishisht means special. Ye means those people in our side who are special. Tan nibodha dujottama. Oh, best among the Brahmanas, I want to nibodha, I want to make known to you that these are the people who are very, very special warriors in our side. Nayakah mama sanyasya. Those who are the leaders of our army. Sanya, you understand? Sena? Sena means Sena. So who are the leaders in our armies? Sangyartham tan bravimite. I am speaking to you, taking their names. Sangya means noun. Sangya, noun. Something I don't know. But here Sangyartham means to name them. Uddhav is there and Karnamrita is there and like this. So I name them. He's there, he's there, he's there, like this. So to indicate them, I am going to speak to you. Bravamite. I'm explaining to you. We don't worry that now he's trying to hide his fear. Don't think I'm fearful. We also have very powerful people. They are nothing. They are nothing. But he's still fearful. But he just want to cover his fear before Dronacharya. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military of the Pandavas army. Duryodhan then spoke boldly to cover his inner fears. We just mentioned this point just now. Among our troops, understand that those who are particularly outstanding, Vishishta means special, the leaders, Nayakaha, endowed with great intelligence and other qualities, I will speak so that you will completely understand about them. Which are the special people? If you will not fight out of affection for the Pandavas, then I will still gain victory through Bhishma and others. So it may appear the sloka is very simple, but can you see? Can you see the diplomacy here? Can you see the underlying meaning which you wanted to speak? How so many things are in the first chapter itself. It's not that you will not fight, then we will not going to win the war. There are other people also. Sometimes we, as a manager, we also chastise people. Don't think the service is getting done through you. Even if you leave, there are other people who can do. Sometimes we have to speak like this. But we don't speak in a hideous way. We speak straightforward. It's a fact. Even if a person leaves, still the mission will go on. But the idea is, here it's very clear. It's amazing what he wants to do, isn't it? Dronacharya is so important. So he's saying like that, even if we don't fight, there are other people also who can help us win the war. He makes a hint of this in order to arouse the anger of Drona. So it's very, very, very tasty commentary of Srila Baldevi Devotion. Bhagavad Gita 1.2. Prabhupada did not give any commentary on this. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha
भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च
Kripascha Samitanjaya
कृपश्च समितञ्जयः
You can hold the mic little bit away from, little bit. Ashwathama Vikarnascha
अस्वस्थामाभिकर्णश्च
Somadatte
सामदत्तिस्तथैव च
Oh, still there are some devotees in Zoom. I thought everybody must have left by now, but they are eager for Bhagavad Gita. Bhavan. Bhavan means yourself. Why use the first word as Bhavan? You are very important, sir. Bhavan. You are very, very important. Normally, I have seen those who are diplomatic people, they will say like this: you are very important, you are the in charge of whatever this department and this and that. That's how people use diplomacy. So Bhavan here refers to Dronacharya, yourself. Bhishmascha, very easy, Bhishmadev. Karnascha, Karna. Kripascha, Kripacharya. Samitanja means you must remember they have never been defeated. You know this point? Bhishmadev was not even defeated by Parshuram. Amazing, isn't it? Who defeated all the Kshatriyas alone, single-handedly. Bhishmadev resisted Parshuram. Can you imagine the potency of Bhishmadev? Actually, we never reflect upon this. First of all, we do not know the potency of Parshuram, who was directly Lord Vishnu's incarnation, and he could also not defeat Bhishmadev. You know that past time they fought. So then, and also Karna. Karna was defeated, but still, normal sense, he was very powerful. Kripacharya was never defeated. And you know, Dronacharya had a benediction that until the time he had these weapons, nobody could touch him. So the word is Samitanjaya. They have been victorious all over the place. Ashwathama was very powerful. We know that Vikarna was one son of Drona, Dhritarashtra. He was the only person who had objected to Draupadi's disrobing. So you know, it's very interesting. Because Bhima had taken a vow that I'll kill all the 100 sons. No, 100 sons. So he killed Vikarna, but he circumambulated him. Out of duty, he had to kill him because they were fighting. But actually, Vikarna, he had left the assembly. He had objected to this bad behavior towards Draupadi. So he actually circumambulated him. Very nice. He was very respectful to him. Somadatti, Prabhupada will explain. I don't know who is that. Some person was there. Tathaivacha, like that. Okay. There are personalities like you. You means Dronacharya, yes. Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. I tell you a very nice pastime. We have less time, but I want to say this pastime. Bhurishrava had a benediction from Lord Shiva. You know this, Leela? Very nice. That anybody on whom he will throw this gada is club, so he will be killed. But if a person who is not fighting the battle, there is no voice. What is that? No, there is no problem, Net. Mute? I'm not unmuted. Hare Krishna, can you hear me? नहीं आ रही आवाज वॉइस इज ओके आप लोगों को सुनाई नहीं पड़ रहा है इतना स्पीकर पे बोल रहा हूँ ना मजाक कर रहा सो यू आर एबल टू एवरीबॉडी कैन हियर okay yes you are breaking the flow you stop the club in between okay so Bhurishrava was told that if you throw the club on somebody who's not fighting, the club will kill you. Lord Shiva has told. So Lord Krishna was Bhurishrava was fighting with Arjuna. So Lord Krishna was knowing this. So he was maneuvering. Understand? घुमा रहे थे इधर से उधर. He was maneuvering the ratha so nicely. Bhurishrava could not aim at Arjuna. So Bhurishrava then just threw the club on Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna, nothing happened. But because he was not fighting, that club went and then killed Bhurishrava directly. So they see how Lord Krishna was protecting Arjuna all throughout the battle. Arjuna was not knowing about that club. It's a small pastime about Bhurishrava. Bhavan refers to Drona. Vikarna was a younger brother of Duryodhana. We have discussed this point. Somadatti refers to Bhurishrava. The troops of Drona and others are described as victorious in war. Samitanjaya. We have all discussed this. These are only the outstanding persons on my side. There are also other warriors whose numbers cannot be counted. Anyacha. That's like Shalva. That's like so many people others. There are many, Bahava, such as Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, who are determined to give up their lives for my sake, if necessary. Tyakta Jivitaha. My victory will be accomplished because of their intense affection for me, their surplus of courage, and their knowledge of fighting. This is his hint in speaking. So you see, very nicely, as a nice, perfect materialist, he is not thinking that Devam Panchamam. Just now we heard in 18th chapter that ultimately in any action, Krishna is the super cause. Unless he allows, nothing can work. Okay? So this is the special quality of a materialist. He's thinking, by all my material arrangements, I have been happy. These many people I have killed, and these many people I'll kill further. You remember in the 17th chapter we discussed in Hindi class? This is a special attitude of a perfect materialist. He does not see somebody who is Krishna. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somadatti or Bhurishava is the son of the king of Bhaliks. Many of the things Prabhupada is repeating, I do not explain those things. Karna is the half brother of Arjuna, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. You know this past times. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. Nothing to explain this shloka. Now, please chant after me. Anyacha bahavaha shura
Anyacha bahava surah
Madarthe tyakta jivitaha
Madarthe tyakta jivata
Nana shastra praharana
Nana sastra praharana
Sarva yuddha visharadaha
Sarva yuddha visaradaha
Anyacha. See, the commentary was including the commentary on 1.9 also. Anyacha means there are other people who are also great fighters. Bahava shura. There are so many people who are very sure. Shurvan means Shurvan को क्या बोलते हैं? Courageous. They are courageous. Madarthe tyakta jivata. For my sake, they are ready to give up their life. So the point is, they are going to give up their lives. That's what that Acharya has explained. Saraswati Devi is speaking through Duryodhan. He's saying, Madarthe tyakta jivata. They are ready to give up their lives for me. That means they are going to give up their lives. Able to understand? That is a hinted meaning. Nana shastra praharanaha. They have taken up different kinds of weapon. Nana means different. Sarva yuddha visharadaha. Not only they have taken a weapon, but they know how to use the weapon. Suppose Karnamrit Prabhu, what is your weapon? Chamach, or your how you a stirrer, whatever you stir the halwa and puri. Now just suppose if I tell somebody, okay, take this stirring pot or something, will you become a good cook? And suppose if I give you a lathi, can you fight? Same thing with me. If you give me a stick, I cannot fight with it. So just because I'm holding a stick, I'm not of no value, because I'm not Visharada. Visharada means expert. I'm not expert in fighting. Makes sense to you? You have to learn how to fight. Similarly, just because a person will hold a stick of cooking, it doesn't mean he becomes a Visharada. Visharada means expert in cooking. So saying not only they're holding the Shastra, but they're Visharada. They're expert in fighting also. And there are many people like that. Okay? There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Very clear. As far as the others are concerned, like Jadrath, Kritavarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of sinful Duryodhana. So I mentioned this point. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above mentioned combined strength of his friends, and that is called asuric mentality, not depending on Krishna, thinking only on owns material strength. Yes. Okay. Now this is a very interesting shloka with interesting words. Am I too fast, or I think you're able to catch? It's very easy. Not much philosophy here, but some points. Please chant after me. Aparyaptam tadasmakam
अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं
balam bhishmabhirakshitam
बलं विस्माभिरक्षितं
paryaptam tu idam paryaptam tu idam etesha
पर्याप्तं तु इदम् एतेषां
balam bhimabhirakshitam.
बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्.
Now, it's very interesting. Normally, the word paryaptam means sufficient, and aparyaptam means insufficient. But the way Srila Prabhupada has taken the meaning is as how Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan has taken the meaning. So here says aparyaptam means immeasurable. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable. Why are you saying balam bhishmabhirakshitam? Because it is being protected by the Bhishma Pitama, by the strength of Bhishma Pitama, who's Atirath, he can fight with any number of people. Okay? And they say paryaptam tu idam etesham. Etesham, these Pandavas, their strength is paryaptam, means limited. Why are you saying like this? He says balam bhima virakshitam, because they are being protected by Bhima. You know that he was envious of Bhima, so he takes the name of Bhima. Bhima is nothing. And how he compares to Bhima with, you will just see the commentary. Our, our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. But how can you, Gita Bhushan, how can you achieve victory when the troops are equal on both sides? Who will raise this question? Whom Duryodhana is talking to? Dronacharya. So Acharya is putting it like a conversation. So now you are saying everybody is equally. They are also Maharathas. You are also Maharathas. And how will we gain victory? We have more troops. How many more troops? 11 Akshahonis. And Pandavas had 7 Akshahonis. Our strength is immeasurable and is protected by Bhishma, who's most intelligent and an Atiratha, means he can fight with unlimited people. So now you know the meaning of Atiratha and Maharatha. The strength of Pandava's army is limited, being protected by Bhima, who has very little intelligence and who's only an Ardharatha. Bhima is only Ardharatha. That means he can't even fight with one person. So you see how his derogatory attitude? Bhima had beaten him left and right. It's amazing. Is this amazing? They had fought with Drupada. I just now mentioned the story. They were defeated left and right. And you know one more pastime. When the Pandavas were in forest, Duryodhana had a camp. You know that? Just to make a mock of Pandavas. You see how you're living in poverty. We're enjoying very nicely. And one Gandharva had come. What is his name? Chitraratha? I believe his name was Chitrarath, and he captured Duryodhana and he was about to kill him. But see how Yudhishthira Maharaj was so magnanimous. Karna and everybody ran away. They could not fight with the Gandharvas. But then, what is his name? Arjuna and Bhima came and they helped him on the order of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And still this rascal is saying that Bhima is Ardharatha. This is complete rascaldom. But that's what Duryodhana was meant for. At least one person we can criticize very nicely. Duryodhana. Okay, so that was his attitude. Herein, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general, Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Fig means he's just nothing. Finished. Duryodhan was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. All these things are very clear. Bhishma Dev is Athiratha, and in his estimation, Bhima is Ardharatha. Ardharatha, half Ratha. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. Last shloka. अयनेषु च सर्वेषु
अयनेषु च सर्वेषु
यथा भागम् अवस्थितः
यथा भागम् अवस्थितः
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
Ayaneshu cha sarvashu. Ayaneshu means there are various strategic positions within our army. Cha sarvashu and all other positions. Yatha bhagam avastita. Wherever, yatha bhagam means wherever a person is told to stay. Avastita means situated. Bhishmam evabhi rakshantu. We must protect Bhishma Dev. Wherever we are strategically situated in different parts of the phalanx of the Kauravas side, we should try to protect Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Evabhirakshantu Bhavantah Sarva Evahi is not Bhavantah means you should all try to protect Bhishma Dev. So now there can be a doubt in Dronacharya. So Bhishma Dev is important, I am not important. So no, you are very important. All of you, you see how diplomacy works. All of you are very, very important. Bhishma Dev is very important, but you are all very important because as old man, he may be fighting with somebody and somebody can attack him from backside. It's possible. So everybody should be very, very active in the war. All of one question I have, which I don't have answer to, what they would have got by fighting with on behalf of Duryodhan, all these kings. I mean, from their own idea, why they would have fought on his behalf. Anyways, all of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army, the arrangement of the army. Gita Bhushan 1.11. If Drona understands the meaning of my words, he may become indifferent to fighting himself. Why he will become indifferent? You are saying Bhishma is important. So what is my value? So seeing that, this will damage my plans. Therefore, I will give him personal responsibility in this war. Thus he spoke. So you understand how, so it's amazing how the acharyas are penetrating in the mood and consciousness of that fellow, or the person who's speaking. So all those things we cannot, just by looking at the shloka, we will not understand. You should protect Bhishma on all sides by staying in your positions which have been designated individually for entering into the ranks of the enemy troops. You know this point, there is something called formation of an army. You know that? Chakra Vyuha, Garuda Vyuha. You understand this point? There are different formations. So everybody has to stand in a different position in a formation. That's something whenever we are having a different formation, you all should make it a point that you protect Bhishma Dev so that he can lead our army properly. Does it make sense? Yes. Act in this way so that he will not be attacked by others, since while being absorbed in fighting, he will not be looking on the sides or behind. I tell you what happened. I give an example. Like Satyaki was being pulled by hairs by some person. I'm not remembering who that person was. I'm not remembering. Is it Bhagadatta? I'm not so sure. But somebody. Maybe the story which I told you about was Bhagadatta stories, and Bhurishrava was fighting with Satya. I'm forgetting the name. But that fellow was, what is this? Holding onto the hair of Satyaki and dragging him. And then he was about to kill him. By that time, Arjuna's arrows came and he cut his hand off. So it's natural because he was supposed to protect Satyaki. So like that. So they're saying that Bhishma Dev should be protected on all sides by all of you. Not that he is distracted and somebody can attack him from behind. The intention is as follows. Bhishma is our grandfather. You are our teacher. You two are known to be my fervent well-wishers, for though you knew the injustice I did at the gambling match, you did not speak a word when Draupadi asked for justice. Is it clear? He thus made his request so that Drona would give up his trace of affection for the Pandavas that was still visible. So that is very interesting that although they have committed so much, they have done so much service, still he does not have full faith either on Bhishma or on Dronacharya. Can you see that very clearly? The most interesting question will come at the end of the class. I'll just ask you something very simple. Very simple. Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So, in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. Now, you can see how Srila Prabhupada is very closely following the commentary. So, things which Prabhupada is repeating from the commentary, I won't explain because that I've already explained in the commentary. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So everyone must specially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take the advantage of his full engagement on one side. And I explained the example of one in the war. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Is important? Are you able to understand this point? Fighting is happening and everybody fights at his place so that the others cannot enter into the view of other formation. That's how it wants. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishmadev. He was confident of the full support of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances. I said, Prabhuji, आपने तो कुछ समझाया ही नहीं आज, but there is nothing to speak on that point. All the while, all these classes, I'll focus on explaining things which are not clear. It's called glossing. Glossing, you understand? You highlight things. I'll only highlight things and expect the devotees to read, and if there is some further doubts, they can ask some questions. Now, I have a very simple question. Which name you are missing in this discussion? Which name is very significantly missed in this whole discussion between Yudhishthir? Okay. Let us open the discussion to the devotees on Zoom also. Which name you are missing in this discussion? Krishna. Yes. Narsimhi Devidasa. Yes. This rascal, he is not understanding that Krishna is on their sides. He is saying this is useless, this, that. One time, just to make this point out, you know that famous pastime when Arjuna and Duryodhana had gone to ask favors from Krishna. And Duryodhana had asked the armies, and Arjuna was given first chance, and he said, okay, I'll take Krishna even if he not fight. After Duryodhana left, you know what? Very nice discussion happens. Krishna asked Arjuna, are you fool? I'm not going to fight. So why you chose me? And Arjuna said, my lord, I had a deep desire in my heart to give the reins the reins of my life in your hands. And Krishna came in such an avesh. He said, if the whole three worlds, if all the three worlds are against your side, Arjuna, they cannot fight with you. They cannot beat you. That's how when a devotee takes shelter of Krishna, Krishna's protection is there on the devotee. Just like a devotee wants to give everything to Krishna, Krishna wants to give everything to the devotee. That point Duryodhana is completely missing. It's amazing, isn't it? The main factor is not sitting there as Antaryami. He's directly present. Krishna, Sakshat, Parabrahma is present. He cannot understand that Krishna is also there. And he says, Paryaptam tu eta. He's that their strength is limited. Can you see his ignorance? This is the very stark lesson which you learn from this whole discussion. Everything else is very easy to understand. But one thing is simply not understanding that Krishna is on their side. And that was this point. Let me just see if there are some questions. I think in the voice check I have missed Bhurishrava's story. Could you explain? Okay, I'll send you again. Okay, any questions? Mool Pran, no, this is from. Okay, so we shall stop here. Thank you for your patience and tolerating me. We'll meet tomorrow again. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.